Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed here and welcome to a visual novel called Up Until the End. This was supposed to be an ordinary day in an ordinary life, but it isn't. You are in a town library, reading a good book when you don't really remember. You know you passed out. When you wake up, you are surrounded by flames. Will you get out of danger? Will you create bond with your companions? And maybe will you find love on the way? So this game contains suspense, romance and friendship as its main genres, alongside the most befitting genre of visual novel, as it is a genre in itself. But obviously, kind of like visual novels in themselves are basic without genres to add to it. And this is the demo of the game. I believe the game itself is very close to being released as a full, but I like to see what it has to offer in terms of what is coming through the demo. There's 30 minutes, I believe, and many heartbreaking moments, I imagine, within the game itself. So we've got, yep, we're going to keep it window, transition, show all, skip, already read, we're not going to skip text, obviously. So definitely not the first time around. After choices, continue, stop skipping, unsure. Okay, up until the end. Let's see what we've got here. You snap awake, startled by a sudden sound. You're lying on the ground face down and you turn your head to the side and blink a few times in an attempt to try and see clearly. No use. It's not only your eyes that are fuzzy, but you're also in some kind of murk. Your ears hurt, and you hear a loud and deafening noise you can't seem to recognize. Trembling, you manage to stand up and see that the murk is in fact smoke. You start to cough. It was easier to breathe on the floor. You're fanatically looking around, and after some head turns, you see flames at approximately 2 or 3 meters away from you. Okie dokie. Yeah, remember seeing the controls. Is there one to like just hide the text briefly, like H or something? Oh yeah, middle click hides the text and have a transition. Oh, your eyes are stinging and tears are starting to form, but you force them open regardless. You desperately look around and search for other people, but there's no sign of any life. Dikidori. That's just mainly for thumbnail purposes, guys. Nothing else. Help! Is anybody here? I'm in the reading room. We're definitely in the library. Your throat hurts from shouting. There's no answer. You're lost. What's happening? The library is burning. You don't remember what happened. You just woke up here. Why are you alone? Finally, the heat hits you, and the grave situation you're in finally sinks in. Well, what? Oh, I can't save the game. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, no. I can't. Anyways, we're not even that far in the game. But I do like to save before I make a decision like this. So, in most visual novel games I play, you can save at the option of trying to, let's say, pick a decision. Okay, so let's stay calm and analyze the situation. You blink a few times and look around you. Several shelves have fallen to the ground and block the way out. You spot some objects on the floor. A wallet, a backpack, a mobile phone, but none of them are yours. It makes you realize you don't have your bag with you anymore. A loud sound made you jump. And as you look up, you see that some parts of the scene are falling down. You have to move. Indeed. You stumble as you start to move your legs. You walk slowly, not knowing where to go, and you don't see anything but flames. You put your sleeve to your nose and stay as low as you can while moving, trying not to inhale too much smoke. You climb the shelves that are on the ground while trying to avoid getting hurt on the broken wood. Finally, you see the exit. The door is lying on the floor, broken, and the hallway seems to be on fire too. You look behind you, searching for a window, but you can't see anything through the thick smoke. It seems that your only choice is to go straight into the hallway, which is burning. Yes, talking takes away your oxygen, and what little oxygen is left of the place because the flames are using all the oxygen up to burn. So think of your legs and not with your mouth. You head into the hallway, speeding up your pace. You start to feel dizzy, and your head is spinning a little. Damn! I gotta stay focused. Now's not the time to pass out again. Okay, our protagonist's name is you. Unless we're naming our protagonist. You see several doors, but you walk past them since they're all on fire. Your throat and eyes are burning. This hallway seems endless. You swear as you begin to fall into despair. After a while you spot a safe place in the room to the left. With no time to think, you head inside. The hell? You punch the wall out of anger, feel like crying. No, do not do any of the other two. Start to panic, feel like crying. No, punch the wall out of anger. The fist goes straight to the wall. You gotta be kidding me. You clench your teeth, still punching the wall with your hand. What in the world happened here? You don't feel the pain right away, but when you look at the back of your hand, you see some blood on your knuckles. You have to admit, it stings a little. You want to punch the wall again, just to release some of your anger, but it would be pointless to die here because you waste your time punching a wall. You need to keep going. On unsteady feet, you stand up and walk to the door. You're about to touch the handle, but it moves before you reach it. The door flies open and a figure appears in front of you. Fang Ji. Fang Ji? Who is that guy? You feel an intense pain in your head, and everything turns black. Even the individual that probably caused this conundrum to appear in the first place. When you wake up, you have a piercing headache. That person must have hit you hard enough to knock you out. You touch your head and feel something sticky. Blood. You can't tell. The room you're in is very dark. From what you can see, there are no windows, and the only light is one coming from underneath the door. You explore your surroundings, trying to figure out where you are. The floor seems to be flat, and you can't feel any objects around you. On all fours, you slowly begin to crawl. You reach a wall before heading the other direction. Just another wall at the end. Then you go to the door. You slowly stand up and touch the handle. You try to turn it, but it's locked. Not moving. Maybe you should try calling for help. Come, open the door. I'm here. You shout, but you don't hear anything on the other side. You can't believe the situation you're in. You're afraid. I can't believe the situation I am. First you wake up in a fire, and then someone hits you on the head, and now you wake up again in a locked room. What is going on exactly? That's what I'm wondering. And who has that enigmatic figure who knocked us out? You start to walk around in circles like a caged lion. What else could you do but wait? After some time has passed, you get tired of walking around in a small, empty room, and you sit down on the ground. Your eyes close for a moment, and when you open them, nothing has changed. You're still in the same dark room alone. Maybe try pinch your cheeks and see if you're in a dream like Umaniki. Your eyelids feel heavy, and even though you try to keep your eyes open, you feel so tired that you have a hard time staying awake. You blink a few times, and the door is resonating, maybe? Or it's just not. Nothing's changing. Is it? You wake up. You don't know how long you slept for. What time is it? Your cell phone isn't in your pocket anymore, so no way to find out. Suddenly, you hear a sound from the other side of the door. Someone is coming. You get up and stand in the middle of the room, waiting. Two men walk in. You can't see their faces in the darkness. Unknown man. So, she's one you found in the building. The other man nods his head. One of the men speaks to you. What were you doing there? Why weren't you outside with the others? What is he talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I woke up in the building while it was in flames. I was trying to find a way out when one of you knocked me out. Sorry about that. We didn't mean to hurt you, but you surprised us. You look at him, doubtful. This isn't really convincing you. Where am I? We'll get to that later. First, we have some questions for you. You don't say anything. These people, you have a bad feeling about them. Likewise. So, what were you doing in the library? I told you I woke up there when it was on fire. Before that I was just reading the book and... I don't really remember. I must have passed out. What book were you reading? You frown. Does it matter? Be more cooperative, please. You try to remember the book you picked up, but like everything that happened at that time, you don't have a clear memory of it. I don't really remember. You were still in the library while everyone else was outside. You don't remember the book you were reading. This is kind of suspicious. Are you serious? I don't understand any of this. The men don't answer. Tell me, what's happening? You said there was other people outside. Are they here too? Stay focused, please. The man takes something out of their pocket. A picture. He approaches you and shows it to you. There is a man in the photograph. A man that you don't recognize. Do you know him? No. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. You have had enough of this nonsense. When will they stop with these questions? I feel like you're lying to us. These men, what do they want from you? We'll come again later. They're already going away? Wait, let me out! They don't answer you as they close the door. The room is filled with silence again. You lie down, trying to think of what to do. After a while your thoughts are cut by noises. They're coming from the other side of the wall. Another room? Another noise, louder this time. You walk to the wall and stick your ear to the hard surface. Voices reach you from the other side. Why did you set the library on fire? The harsh tone of the man makes you jump. His voice is very low, but you're able to understand what he's saying. I didn't! You're lying. Another loud sound. This man is probably beating him. I'm gonna keep going until you say the truth. The beating finally stops. Okay, we're gonna try something else. You hear rustling on the other side. Are they moving a table or something like that? No, please. I told you, you have to tell me the truth. You hear a metallic sound and, oh gosh, this is probably gonna sound like a knife. Stop! You bring your head to your mouth to muffle the sound of your cry. Well, they're obviously torturing him. What are they doing to him? You shiver and put some distance between your ear and the wall. You don't want to hear the poor man. The cries of pain still reach you. You put your hand to your ears, hoping it will stop. It seems endless. Finally it comes to an end. There's a moment of silence before you put your ear against the wall again. Tell you. Oh, wait. You don't hear anything anymore. Why do they stop talking? All of a sudden, the door of your cell flies open with a loud clang. You crouch down out of surprise. A man is walking quickly towards you. He doesn't say anything and just violently grabs your collar. You don't have the time to get up as he begins to drag you while your knees scrape along the ground. Where are you taking me? He doesn't answer you, but you're now in front of a cell next to yours. The door stands open. Inside you can see a man sitting on a wooden chair in the center of the room. It's his screams that you were hearing earlier. He's bleeding profusely, and you don't dare to even glance at his wound. You lower your eyes towards the ground, but you think that you recognize him. Suddenly you realize it was the man in the photograph that the men showed you previously. What? The man who's gripping your collar doesn't let you finish your sentence. Is it her that you saw in the library? Your eyes widen. What is he talking about? The voice of the poor, tortured man doesn't answer. You finally look up. Answer the question now. Is it her? He asks the same question, but slowly, and with a more menacing tone this time. Your gaze is fixed on the man in front of you. After a few more seconds, he slowly nods his head. Thank you for your answer. He takes a gun from his belt and aims it in front of him. Then he shoots. Oh, the tortured man's head abruptly jerks backwards as a bullet pierces his forehead. You can't close your eyes. This is ever glued wide open. You don't want to see this. Why did you do this? The man doesn't answer you. He starts to drag you out again back to your cell. He violently throws you onto the ground and then closes the door behind him. Then you hear his footsteps quickly fading away. They just tortured a man and killed him right in front of you. You curl into yourself. You're afraid. And what kind of mess did you step in? Not sure. You are dozing when the sound of a door awakens you. A man you haven't seen before walks into the room. So you're the woman. My men told me that you have what we need. So I'll immediately jump to the question. The man steps forward and stops just a few centimeters away from you. You don't like it. His breath stinks. You try to hold your breath, but it's no use. You can't refrain from making a weird face. This gets worse when he grabs you by the collar. What was the information? You clench your teeth. You don't like this at all. Repeat that you don't know. Let's provoke him. Let go of me. Your bad breath is disgusting. Avoiding the subject, I see. It didn't really work. He grabs your collar of your shirt with his strong hand. You have to know that if you don't answer me, you're going to have the same treatment as the occupant of the next cell next to yours. But don't worry. We know torture techniques that will enable us to persuade you. But make sure that you won't die on us. You won't even be able to pass out to escape. He holds you in the air for a while before abruptly dropping you on the ground. Then he leaves the room. You thought they were going to stay longer. You feel relieved that it wasn't the case. I need to do something. You've lost your notion of time. Have you been here for hours or a full day? 2 maybe? You've slept most of the time, exhausted from the events at the library. The rest of the time you walked in circles in an attempt to not go crazy. After some time, you hear a sound from outside, and soon one of the men from before enters the room again. Do you feel like talking now? He stares directly into your eyes while waiting for an answer. What if I gave you a little motivation? He has a small grin on his face, which doesn't please me at all. He slowly approaches you and raises his hand. Oh, slap! Your face brutally turns under the shock. Want to play smart now? He's so full of himself. He smiles as you try to get away from him. So now, answer the question I asked you, or... He raises his hand once more. You close your eyes and wait for the next hit. Suddenly, a loud sound interrupts him. He seems very disappointed as he turns away from you. What? I'll come back. You stay here. And he leaves. Without thinking it's necessary to lock the door, so he thinks you will wait for him. Wait. Well, when the cat is away, the mice will play. With fear in your belly, you make a dash towards the door and open it. You quickly look down the hallway, which seems clear. You sprint like your life is dependent on it, and step into the labyrinth of a building you don't know. We don't know. In the process of trying to move quickly, you stumble and bang your head on the ground. You hear a loud crack more than you feel the pain. You think you just broke your nut. Ugh. You quickly stand up and keep going. Your legs hurt and your heart is pounding. You don't know where you are running to. You just run. You reach a stairway. There are steps that go up and down. A lot of doors and windows. You look through one of the windows, but you don't recognize the landscape on the other side of the glass. However, it indicates one thing to you. You are in a tall building. Going up would be pointless, so you go downstairs. After a few turns, you see a panel leading to the exit. Jackpot! You run as fast as you can, not caring about the pain in your legs. You follow the sign, which leads you further down. You think you'll reach the first floor soon, given the number of stairs you've descended. In your hurry, you trip on the stairs and tumble a few steps. Your butt definitely got bruised for that, but that doesn't stop you from running. Suddenly you hear a voice and stop running. Help! Please! Let us out! It takes you a few seconds to realize that there's someone calling for help. You turn your gaze towards the door behind you, and from where you hear the voice coming from. At the same time, you hear footsteps on one of the floors above you. You need to decide what to do, and quickly. Do we be benevolent, or do we be selfish? I think they'll make it pretty obvious that we're waiting, but we're still going to do that nonetheless. You have no time to think, but you can't leave these people behind. If it was you, you would have wanted the same. You can hear the footsteps getting closer. They're right above you. Sweat is running down your forehead. You hold your breath and try to be as quiet as possible. Their voices reach you. At least he gave us answers. Yeah, now that we're done with him, we have to find out who the others are. He said there are 2 others with him. Yeah, we already have one. We'll find the other one soon enough. What will we do for the others? You hear the men sigh. Maybe we'll have to kill them. They knew too much. But it's up to the boss. Your heart is beating faster and loudly. They're gonna kill you if they find you. You wait for what seems like an eternity. Finally, they walk past you. You can hear their footsteps fade away. Several seconds pass. You're making sure they aren't going to turn back. You go to the door from where the voice came from and try to turn the handle, but of course it's locked. The key might be in their meeting room. Please try to go there. I think it's on the right. I'll try my best, lady, but I'm not guaranteed anything. My survival is more important than yours, but we're doing this for a more benevolent route. Sheesh! You turn around and look at the room the voice is referring to. It's in the same direction, but footsteps were heading. Can you risk it? Oh gosh. I'm glad to say before I had no choice but to search the meeting room. You stand by the door for a moment, concentrating on the silence. You don't hear anything. It's now or never. You slowly open the door, making as little sound as possible. You head inside the room, close the door behind you and lock it. Now you can search for the key. You spot some cabinets in the back of the room and walk over to them. The first one contains a lot of paper and documents. It would be interesting to read some of them so you can find out more about those men, but you don't have the time. You search through the second cabinet and find the same thing. You begin to lose hope. A sound reaches you from the other side of the door. You must hurry. You spot a crowbar on the table next to you. You take it and go back to the door. Fortunately, there's nobody on the other side waiting for you. You let out a sigh of relief. I didn't have to find the keys, but I'll try to open it anyway. You hear it abruptly from the other side. Sticking the crowbar through the side of the door, you try to put all your weight on the tip of it in order to force the door open. You don't have much strength and the crowbar escapes your hand several times. You're losing patience. An alarm starts to ring loudly, which only increases the gravity of the situation. Finally, you hear a crack and the door wide opens. There are 3 people in the room. We need to go. Hurry, all of you. You'll begin to run towards the exit. You don't check to see if anyone's following behind you. You hear a loud noise behind you, and you turn your head as you run. You see that you are followed by many men. You won't get very far like this. You look around as you run, but you don't recognize any of the landscape. The building you were in seems to be part of an industrial complex, even though it's a little isolated. There's a forest in front of you, but other than that, you can only see plains. Where do we go? You hear the voice of a woman answering you. To the forest. We'll be exposed in the plains. You keep running, but now you steer your steps towards the forest. The trees will offer you cover, but you aren't sure it will be enough. It's better than no cover, for goodness sakes, and the plains are the worst idea to be stuck in. Once you reach the forest, you try to think fast. You only have one choice. You need to hide, and quickly. Climb in the trees and hide. We have no chance if we keep running. Is that really a good idea? You don't have much strength left. You don't know if you'll be able to do it. But what other options do you have? We'll climb up a tree. Okay. You don't have any better ideas, so you go with it. You don't look to see where the others go. You choose a tree nearby and stick your shoes in the bark. You barely have any strength left. And you were never too good at climbing trees either, so you have no choice now. You try jumping to the first branch, but you miss it. You push off with your foot and jump again. Higher this time. You manage to reach the first branch and successfully climb a tree. You determinedly pull yourself up until you reach the upper half of the tree. Exhausted, you sit down on one of the larger branches. You scrape your legs against the bark while climbing, and you have lost your breath. Realizing that your pursuers are getting close, you crouch down as much as you can, taking cover in the leaves and trying to keep calm. A few minutes later, you can hear the footsteps from the men. They're not too close to you, but they're definitely in the forest somewhere. Your eyes wander to the trees next to and in front of you, searching for the other hidden people. They are well hidden, and you have a hard time spotting them. Then you see a light rustle a bit above you in the tree ahead. Your eyes meet those of a man. You both stay like that, looking into each other's eyes from afar, as if to reassure you that you are not alone. The gaze of the man in the other tree don't leave you, and yours don't leave him. You can't quite remember his face. You didn't take the time to look while you were running. Find them, alive or dead. Keep looking until nightfall if you must. Voices reach you from below. You hold your breath and crouch even more into your hiding place. The sun goes down, and soon it's only the moon and the stars that light your surroundings. You keep listening to the noises of the men rustling in the bushes below you, searching for the evaders. For you. Your body is aching from not moving for so long, and you hope they will leave soon. Also, you really need to use the toilet right now. Your bladder is practically bursting. Oh god. Time's passed. It must be middle of the night by now. There's no sound coming from the forest below you anymore. Are they gone? You stay in your trees for several more minutes to be sure. Silence. To raise any last doubt, you grab hold of a twig next to you. You snap it off a tree and throw it into the bushes below a few steps away. No reaction. You think it's safe to climb down. You look over to the person in the tree ahead and catch his gaze. You adjust to below and point to the ground. He looks down and keeps his eyes locked on the ground for a while. Then he looks back up at you and nods. You are relieved that, despite the darkness surrounding you, you can still communicate with each other using gestures. You look at the ground and begin to climb back down. It takes you longer than expected. It seems like it was easier to climb up. When your feet touch the ground, you sigh in relief. You look around, and it seems like the others also decided to climb down. You spot the woman that asked you for help speaking with someone. You think she's speaking to the man who is in the tree in front of you, but you aren't sure. I think we should go now. The night will help cover us. I don't think that's a good idea. Look, no offense, but do you have any idea of how you look right now? You walk towards them, listen to what they're saying. The woman soon notices your presence. She doesn't waste any time and immediately takes your hand in hers, bringing you close to her. Thank you so much for saving us. She doesn't say anything else about it, and the gratitude you see in her eyes is plenty enough for you. You give her a smile, and bring up the important subject at hand. What do you think we should do? I don't know anything about this place. I don't know which way we should go. We don't know much about here either, but I think we should just pick a direction and see where we end up. If we stay here, there's a good chance they'll find us. You nod in agreement. So, which way do you want to go? I think I see a place a little further out of the forest from the top of a tree. Good, let's go there to momentarily hide and recover our strength. That sounds like a good plan. It's rather that we don't have any other choices. You turn around when you see the woman fixing a point behind you. You don't believe your eyes. The third person is a little girl. What? How did you not notice it earlier? She must be around 10 years old or so, and she looks completely lost and tired. You turn back to the others again with a questioning look in your face. The man shrugs while the woman asks you. So she was with us in that room? We don't know where her parents are, or anything significant about her. She doesn't really talk with us. I hope she's okay. She doesn't seem okay to me. You don't look so fine either. Want me to take a look at your nose? Well, if you don't mind, yes. Come here. It'll be easier if you sit down. You listen to her and sit down. The other two do the same. Make it quick. We have to keep moving. You don't listen to him and focus your attention on the woman who is slowly putting her hands around your nose. It will be fast. I'll go on 3. 1, 2. Your bone makes a horrible noise that rings in your ears. You did it on 2. I know, but now your nose is back in place. Sorry, did it hurt a lot? It was agonizing. No, I'm okay, thank you. The man turns himself towards the woman. Nice technique. I would have done the same. You don't answer him. Instead, you place the tip of your fingers to your nose. It hurts, but you think if you had fixed it by yourself, it would have been worse. Are you ready to go? Yeah, let's go. And thank you, again. She smiles at you as she gets up and turns herself towards the little girl. Then she takes the hand of a child ready to go. You don't say anything more and set out with the woman and the others. She doesn't let go of the hand she's holding, and the girl follows without a word. The man walks with determined steps, looking straight ahead. After about an hour or so, you arrive at a farmhouse. It's not very big, but big enough for 5 people. You are about to ask if you should look around the outside of the farmhouse before getting in, but the man next to you moves before you have any time to ask a question. He opens the door without any resistance. You don't know if you should be happy or frustrated that he made the decision alone. He walks in without waiting for the rest of you. You exchange a look with a woman next to you before following him inside. The first room is dark and calm. Nobody's there. You feel your shoulders relaxed. We should rest here. You all agree silently to her proposition. You walk into a living room. It's dusty with almost nothing in it, except for a few pieces of furniture. Tired. You decide to sit on the floor and leave the armchair for whoever needs it more. The woman and the man sit near you, while the girl sits in the corner out of sight. You look at each other with them. You look at each of them while thinking, who are they? Is it safe to be with them? Wouldn't it be safer to leave alone? The only one that you know for sure that has nothing to do with these criminals who abducted you is yourself. Well, you can suppose that a girl is too young for that too. But the two others, I mean, why were they prisoners? Was it because of bad luck just like you? Or was it something more? I believe it is bad luck. None of them say anything. Maybe it's because they don't know what to say. Or maybe it's because they're too tired to talk. Whatever the case, you don't like the silence. Ask them who they are. Try to relax the atmosphere. Ask what you should do the day after. Keep silent. Ask them who they are. Who are you? Straightforward, Why not? This isn't bad. You hear the man sniff disdainfully. However, the woman doesn't pay much attention to him. Instead, she looks at you closely. You seem to be hurt. You have a lot of blood on you. Is there anything I could do for you? You smile at the woman. She's nice. Thank you, but I'll be okay. Are you sure? With that amount of blood, most of my wounds have stopped bleeding. I think. As you speak, you gently touch your body on the spots where you were hurt. Yes, it stopped. You gave her a smile to reassure her, and she warmly returns it. I'm Amanda. She turns to look at the man next to her. After a while, she gives him a little nudge. Matt, what's yours? I'm only going to say this in my visual novel playthroughs. Whenever I have a name to transpire, I go by the name Flare. Because I believe that it is a gender-neutral name if I were to ever give it to a person. Girl Flare and Boy Flare, they are both flares in my heart. After all, they are all my children. Flare, you nod and let a few minutes pass before you decide to ask some questions. So, were you in the library too, when the fire started? No, we were outside. You didn't hear a voice in the speaker telling us to go outside before it started? You think about it for a moment. You don't remember hearing anything. No, my memories are blurry. I don't remember much about what happened before I woke up. And when I did, I was surrounded by flames. Again with this continuous going-ons about being surrounded by flames. Eek. A minute passes. A ton of questions whirl around inside your head. Where to start? Did you know who those people that kept us prisoners were? Amanda shakes her head in response while Matt answers. No clue. They were already there when we walked outside. You don't outside. Why were they keeping you there? You slowly massage your temples with the tip of your fingers. This whole situation is giving you a headache. Your eyes wander between the two people before you, searching for answers, but all you get is an exaggerated sigh from Matt. Everyone is just as lost as you know. You sigh again, not knowing what to do. Silence slowly takes place between the three of you. You close your eyes and don't move for several minutes. As time goes on, you realize that you can't sleep. Your nerves are too on edge, therefore you open your eyes and start to inspect the place you're in. The wood flooring is old and partially broken. The furniture isn't as old as the floor, but that doesn't mean their condition is much better. There are a few small objects left in the room, like an old vase and some dishes. Everything has the same old style, and retro floral patterns seem to be a common theme throughout the room. You lost your interest for the room and your eyes fall on Amanda. She has a smaller frame for you, which makes her seem a bit fragile. An aura of maturity and kindness emanates from her. She seems to be a little older than you, maybe around 30 years old. Then your gaze falls on Matt. His eyes are closed, but you don't think he's sleeping. Now that you think about it, you don't know his age either, but he seems to be in his mid-20s just like you. You take your time to acknowledge all the details on his face. The colour of his long hair is either dark or light blonde. The room is too dark for you to tell the exact shade. You don't see them now, but you noticed before that his eyes were blue. The low collar of his shirt gives you a glimpse of the muscle structure underneath, and you can't stop yourself from staring at his upper torso. Eventually your eyes trace back to his face. You slightly jump when you notice that he's looking at you. How long has it been since he opened his eyes? You can't help but blush, turning red like a tomato. You keep staring right into his eyes. You awkwardly smile and mouth silently, "Sorry," with your whispers. Well, I think all the decisions that we made so far, I believe, are the most benevolent. And also I think that would lead to the best route. Like, there are many changes when it comes to these multiple choice questions, which leads to an entirely different outcome. And I'm very happy by the fact that even in the demo there are outcomes that are beyond your control afterwards. So for, let's say, when we were still in the building, we had the choice to either run alone or rescue the people. That would definitely lead towards another set of events to transpire. You keep staring right into his eyes. You awkwardly smile and mouth silently sorry with your lips. He starts to scratch his cheek while a little smile is forming on his lips. Well, that was embarrassing. You choose to close your eyes, even if you don't intend to sleep. At least it will let you rest for a little while. After a while you feel somebody is moving around you. Your eyes fly open and you search for the source of this feeling. You're relieved to see that it's Amanda who's up, who decided to join her in the other room. Hey. Oh, hi Flare. Sorry for waking you up. No problem. I wasn't asleep anyway. What are you doing? I was thinking, I'm trying to find some clues to where we are, but there's nothing. I can't believe it. A map would have been really good right now. Choosing our direction randomly isn't really... She nods while closing her eyes. She seems really disappointed. You don't know what to say. You feel the same way. I'll go to the bathroom. If there's any... I think there is, but no water of course. You give her a quick thanks and go search the house. There's several rooms on the first floor but no bathroom. It must be upstairs. You head up the stairs and find it almost immediately. You walk into the bathroom. Lucky me. There's a mirror on the wall. You wanted to check your state since you haven't seen your face since the fire in the library. Your face is just horrible. Really. There are big circles under your eye. You've never seen your hair this messy before. You don't even want to think about how hard it would be to comb it. Your face is covered in dust and dirt, and there are trails of dried blood under your nose. As you look through the window, you see that the sun is starting to rise in the sky. You must leave this place soon. You go downstairs to talk to the others. I think it's time to go. You're right. We chose the first house on our way. Aren't very smart now that I think about it. I'm surprised they haven't shown up here already. It's the first place at our search, right? You and Amanda nod in agreement. Why did you decide to hide in this place without pondering it more? Well, You were tired, but still. Where's that girl? I didn't talk to her at all. Well, in fact, you haven't seen her since yesterday. You're very sociable, aren't you? That, again, wasn't very nice. This man, does he have a problem with you? Well, now is the right time. I didn't talk much to her either. The three of you walk in the living room where the girl is. What will you do? Ask if the girl is if she's okay. You walk towards the girl and kneel before her. Are you okay? The girl, who's been sitting cuddled up in the corner, slowly raises her hand. Her gaze is a little off, even as she looks at you. She doesn't answer. Are you hurt? She might be a mute character. Again, she doesn't answer, or she's too nervous or perplexed to be able to answer. Again, she doesn't answer. She just looks at some point next to your face. You don't know if she's ignoring you on purpose or if she's just in shock. After a few minutes of silence, you give up and return to the others. So, I'll make the presentations. I'm Amanda, do you remember? The girl lightly nods. Amanda turns her head towards you and Matt. Her name is Erica. At least it's that, I suppose, after I saw the name tag on her shirt. Then she turns towards the girl again. She's Blair, and his name is Matt. No reaction. You understand that she chooses to be silent, but it doesn't help you right now. You turn a questioning look towards Amanda. She seems to worry about the girl. Then you look at Matt, who seems more interested in what's happening on the other side of a window than on the kid. Will you go with us, Erica? We need to leave. Your attention is driven back by the voice of Amanda. Erica seems to be willing to come. Then let's go. We've already wasted too much time. Before leaving, decide to search the house for food, water, and anything that might be useful. You search a room upstairs. Amanda says on the first floor, and Matt deals with the cellar and storage room. Erica doesn't move from her place in the corner. The first room you search seems to be an old bedroom. There's a wooden structure on the bed, broken and partially eaten by termites. There's a closet with only one door left, and a bed shelf and torn curtains that are still hanging on the window. You examine the room. You don't find anything helpful, but you spot a pocket mirror, which is the size of a hand, on the bed shelf. This won't be very useful, but for some reason you want to take it with you, so you take it. You leave the room and head into the next one. In there you find nothing but cockroaches. You decide to go up the attic. You take the stairs that don't inspire your trust. You're afraid the steps will break. They crack under your feet. You find more stuff in the attic. It's dusty and full of spider webs. And surely full of spiders too, but you prefer not to think about that. There are a lot of boxes, but for the most part they're empty. Soon you spot a black backpack in a corner, which you feel could prove useful. You go to it and lift up on the floor. Surprisingly, it seems to be in good condition. The front pocket is completely ripped off, but the main pocket is okay. You think you won't find anything else, so you turn around and start to head back downstairs, but as soon as you do, your eyes are drawn to something. A small can. You approach and take it. You wipe the dust off and read the label. Beans! You put it in your pocket. Then you return to the living room. Amanda and Matt are already there. What will you do? Again, I am not about that selfish life. First thing, I found this. You say this so you can take the can out of your pocket. The others widen their eyes. Shall we dig in? Wide smiles grow on their faces. Yeah, go for it. Amanda calls Erica, who puts on a smile of her face as she sees the food. She seems happy. It takes only a few minutes for the four of you to clean up the can. It gives you your strength back. You're satisfied. Matt pats his hand on your shoulder. Thanks. Thank you very much, Blair. Erica expresses her gratitude by smiling at you. You take your time to show the other things you found. Meanwhile, Erica walks off and sits down in an armchair. You show them the backpack and the mirror. I found this. A mirror? Wonderful, I can make myself look beautiful again. You feel a little ashamed from this comment. I wanted to take it. However, the backpack would be really helpful. Good job. You're happy that he says so, but you're curious on what he found too. What did you two find? Only a blanket and a pen. Well, a blanket could be useful. Oh, a pan, sorry. I found some matches and an old rusty knife. Not wonderful, but well, it's something. Try to think positive. Or is this going to haunt us later down the road? Tell them to give you the objects and put them in the backpack. Try to think positive. Still better than nothing. Matt and Amanda both smile at you. You put everything in the backpack. Luckily the blanket isn't too big and can go in with the rest of the items. Matt takes the bag and you start your journey. To where? No one knows. Nobody knows. Oh, that's the end of the demo. Ah, goody good. I like that. I really like that. It's not what you call a very traditional visual novel where everything is always quite peaceful. It's got quite an apocalyptic feel to it. And as you're obviously trapped in this horrific asylum filled with horrible people that want answers out of you. And it's just come to the case where, well, what's going to happen next with our adventurers? But I do want to see what the other choices were, but this is probably the choices that I would make if this was a real life scenario. Made by, I don't know how to pronounce that name, sorry. Everything's made by the same person. Made with Rimpy, proofreading, programming, music by them. Brushes used for art, those websites, font. I believe fonts are always embedded in the game, unless you have to install them yourself from the website and listed underneath to be able to see what's going on. Special thanks to people, Nicholas, family, friends, proofreaders, and oneself for playing the demo. No time, run towards the exit. You dash towards the next door, trying your best to ignore the voices at your back. You feel guilty, but you have to think about your own life first. The door opens and you are able to see the sun. You hear footsteps behind you, but you think you're safe if you run. You go ahead, not stopping. You run faster than you ever run before. Fear and guilt sink in your belly. Suddenly your foot bumps into something you don't see and you fall hard on the ground. You need to get up quickly. You raise your eyes, ready to stand, but you see something you weren't expecting. Feet run in front of your face. Nice try. You don't have enough time to respond before the knife pierces your neck. And that is what you call a bad end. Yes, indeed. Selfish. That's what happens when you're selfish. These sort of things happen. I believe that would happen as well if you decide to go into the room and then escape rather than using a crowbar. I think those are probably the only two endings to this, just by thinking about it right now. But I would like to see as well what would happen if you decide to just keep going along with it in the plains, actually. Yeah, let's just try this. It's too risky to escape alone. Feel guilty. The door opens, you open to see the sun, you hear footsteps behind you, think you're safe, you run, you go ahead, not stopping, you run faster, and you trip again, get up quickly. Yeah, again with that, we're selfish. Selfish enough to do that. There's kind of like two variations, because you went into the meeting room one point, and the other point you didn't go into the meeting room. So it's kind of like, there's two variations to the bad ending there. Okay. No choice but search the meeting room. Stand by the door. Yeah, I think this would be bad. But do as I say. We don't have time to come up with a better plan. Hide in a bush. You sure this isn't a good idea? You look around and spot some big bushes. You dash over to them and hide. You have a man who told you to climb swear, but you don't care. You stay silent and wait. Soon you hear footsteps, lots of them. The men are searching for you in the forest. You can hear their voices, but they're not close enough for you to understand what they're saying. You start to shake a little as you hear rustling in the grass. You become afraid. What if they find you? Will they bring you back to the building again? While you're thinking, you feel a sudden pain in your stomach. A really sharp pain. You never felt this kind of pain before. You look down and see that something sharp is protruding out of your stomach. Your blood is running down the cold steel as you feel your mind slowly drift away. You shouldn't have hidden there. Bad choice, we know. Another bad end. So I wonder how many bad ends there are. Only one. If there's only one good end to this, no choice but to search. Climb up. Wasn't there a choice to keep on going? Are you sure this is a good idea? It's not far from the building. They'll find us. I don't think we have any other choice. We're all tired and we need some sleep. However, if you want, you can't stay here. No need to go to separate streams. You'll go with us, right? Yeah. You don't have any other ideas at the moment. It seems to be a better idea to stay with them than be alone, so... You turn around when you see a woman fixing a point behind you. You don't believe your eyes. A girl. We try and skip it. Oh. We'll take care of it later. Okay, no problem. Let's go then. And again, the child. Go to the house. Opens the door. Okay. We should have saved it for this actually. Keeping silent would be the worst choice. So it just brings tension. Ask what you should do the day after. So what are you going to do tomorrow? There's a moment of silence before anybody answers you. That's a good question. It seems about as lost as you are. I'm Amanda. She turns to look at the man next to her. The world giving her a nod. Matt, what's yours? Oh damn it! I didn't mean to do this. You can't help but blush, turning like red like a tomato. A wide grin grows in his face. You want to dig a hole and hide in it. Okay, so the default name for this protagonist is Alice. There's embarrassing. I feel like I shouldn't have skimmed through that. Anything else? There's a little crooked. You really forgot about it. You have to fix it. I don't really want to do this. You're complaining. 1, 2, 3. You abruptly make your hands go right then left, pulling the nose with it, and then release it. Crouch on your knees from the pain, you groan. Ah, it hurts. Several blood spots drip down on the not so white floor, swearing. You call yourself an idiot for not getting touched beforehand. Well, just use your clothes. It's not that clean anyways. Your face will still frighten anybody who looks at it. But at least your nose is in the right place. As you look through the window, you see that the sun is starting to rise in the sky. Leave the place. Stay back and wait for Amanda or Matt to make the first move. Amanda's first speak. I'll make presentations. Amanda, do you remember? Girl lightly nods. Her name is Erica. She's Alice. Her name is Matt. No reaction. You understand that she chooses to be silent. Need to leave. We could keep the beans for ourselves. You're super hungry. You eat it when you're... Show me a backpack and a mirror. I found this. A mirror. Wonderful. Commitment to her. Wanted to take it. However, a backpack would be really helpful. Good job. What did you two find? Only a blanket and a pan. I found some matches and an old rusty knife. Not wonderful, but well, it's something. Tell them to give you objects to put in the backpack. Give those to me and I'll put them in the backpack. You could be more grateful, you know. Yes. Matt takes a bag and you enjoy need to wear. No one knows. End of the demo. So that's probably the end of my Let's Play of this demo. And I believe those are all the different endings that you can acquire within the game. Those are everyone apart from the protagonist of the game, I believe. You don't see the protagonist there. I would imagine she would probably be around a height between the girl in the middle and the man on the left. So Amanda and Matt, or around the same height as Amanda, or a little shorter than Amanda, but definitely taller than Erica. So thank you so much for watching, folks. I really like this visual novel actually, and I'm quite excited to see where this will lead in the full game. And I do believe that the game in itself is quite close to its full release. So check that out on itch.io, download the game for yourself, see if there are any other endings that you can find of the game. And as always folks, we'll be seeing each other in the next video. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.